Hey everyone, Gill Gross here, post-match. Daniil Medvedev versus Alexander Bublik, round one, Roland Garros 2021. If you're not here for spoilers, click off the video in 3, 2, 1. Daniil Medvedev has won a match at the French Open for the first time in straight sets. He wins it 6-3, 6-3, 7-5. Obviously, Medvedev came into this tournament having had a terrible clay court season, having never won, coming off a particularly disappointing first-round exit last year to Marton Fucsovics, although I would argue that was a horrendous draw for him. But not only did he lose a lot over the course of the lead up to the French Open, it was how he lost, the scenes that he was making, the outward negativity towards the surface. Basically wasn't competing as hard as he could, was letting his head get in the way of his highest potential level, and in this match he didn't. I really liked what he said in the press leading up to the tournament, coming into the tournament, before he ever hit a single stroke on the Parisian red clay. He said, "I'm playing quite well. I'm confident. I have expectations." I like that he put that out there. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then this was just a calm and confident version of Medvedev, who really didn't show much on the court today. And I think that's for the best. And he had a chance to panic. He had a chance to kind of get negative right in the beginning of the match. That was probably Bublik's best stretch, although he almost won the third set, as I'll get to. But Medvedev got broken in his first service game. Bublik got off to a 2-love start. You couldn't tell from Medvedev. He stayed absolutely level and calm. And then he broke Bublik right back at the 2-love game. So the difference in this match was largely the rallies. Bublik had some success. Both players protected their first serve decently. Medvedev better than Bublik, but Bublik at 66%. Not great, but not terrible. Medvedev at, sorry about that, I'm on the wrong screen. Medvedev on 79%, but second serve points won percentage, huge disparity. 32% for Bublik, 53% second serve points won for Medvedev. I felt that when the rallies were neutral, it was a major mismatch here, as it kind of should be. Medvedev is a much more disciplined player than Bublik, and his patience, his consistency, and his high-level trading and counterpunching should be all he needs to beat Alexander Bublik, and that proved to be the case. He was far too consistent for Sascha Bublik. Unforced errors count, 45 for Bublik, 16 for Medvedev. That's the kind of thing that you can expect to see. Overall, Bublik is a way better matchup for Medvedev than Fucsovics, or a player that shares Fucsovics' prototype. Because when it comes to defensive prowess, not even close. Fucsovics is on a completely different level than a Bublik when it comes to the ability to neutralize. So the result of that is Medvedev's main weakness on clay, which is generating offense from the middle of the court, generating that own pace, his own pace, and hitting through the red clay. That is the main weakness for Medvedev on the dirt. Well, the difference is for Bublik, not as fast a player, doesn't cover the court well. And if you're able, as well, I should say, he covers the court very well for his size, by the way. And if you're able to put pressure on him, if you put him in the corner, if you put him on the defensive, you get errors from him. You coax errors out of him. Whereas Fucsovics, you get neutralized. So that's the difference. You get errors or you get neutralized. That's Fucsovics versus Bublik if you're able to put the pressure on, okay? These are not really, I'm not talking about neutral errors. These are forced errors, and all Medvedev has to do is really put Bublik on the stretch, and then you could see he was pulling the trigger down the line. That was giving Medvedev a chance to counterattack cross-court or counterpunch cross-court into the open court. Bublik is just not adept adept at defending like a Marton Fucsovics would be. So let's see. It's going to be a different kind of test for Medvedev as he goes through the tournament. This match was more about high-level trading with great depth, great consistency, and counterpunching. There's going to be opponents in Medvedev's future, if he wants to go deep into this tournament, that are going to ask a little bit more of Daniil to create for himself. There are going to be opponents that that are more comfortable playing a little bit more defense compared to Alexander Bublik. Let's see how he handles that task. All in all, Bublik, a much better matchup against Medvedev for that reason. I want to give a shout out to Medvedev's returning, especially on the Alexander Bublik serve and volley. That's a play that Bublik relies on under pressure. He goes to that. He wants that. And especially against Medvedev, he doesn't want to get into that neutral baseline rally, as I just outlined. He's not as consistent. His shot tolerance isn't as high. He doesn't want to defend. So serve and volley is a great play to avoid that pattern altogether. Major props to Medvedev on how well he returned on Bublik's serve and volleys. It felt like every single time the Kazakh tried to come in behind his serve, Medvedev just had a blistering return waiting for him. It was a big key to the match and one of the biggest points of the match. 5-all, 40-all in the third set. That was one example of a tremendous deuce side return outside the doubles alley from Medvedev on the forehand and just putting quality on it right at Bublik's feet, making the volley impossible. He had some nice angles as well. That was a big key that Bublik had no success on that play because he's going to go to that play in big spots. Medvedev had the answer. And if you look at total net points, this was also pretty striking and just goes to show you how good Medvedev is with the target, how much his passing shots have improved. I don't think they were great early on in his career. And net points won for Bublik, 21 for 39, 54%. And obviously you want an advantage when you come to the net, and that's just a slight advantage. You want a big advantage in those kinds of spots. So credit to Medvedev for that. Ending on this, Bublik should have won this third set. He was making his first serves at a very high clip, and it was probably one of the only stretches in the match where you can say that about. He was nearly up at 70% heading into this 5-3 service game where he got the break at 4-3, went to serve for it, 5-3, first serve in a rhythm, and it totally abandoned him, completely abandoned him, and he ended up missing most of his first serves in that game. It was either 5 out of 7 or 7 out of 7 because I'm not sure about the first 2 points when he got down love 30, but from there, he missed every single first serve and double faulted from 30-all and then at 30-40 twice in a row to give Medvedev the break back. So that was a bit of a collapse. Bublik had a lot of issues on his second serve. It wasn't just that he couldn't win a rally. He also double faulted too much and had a bit of a kind of a crisis on his second serve. It's not even a crisis for him. I take that back because he's always like that. He's unpredictable. Sometimes he hits first serves on the second, but it didn't work out for him in certain spots. That can be expected. He just needs to make a higher percentage of first serves. He should be disappointed with the way that he served in this match. But overall, I don't think that there's all that much he could have done. He should be outclassed in this matchup with Medvedev playing at the level that he did. High marks for the consistency and the patience and the trading and the shot tolerance and the defense, the passing shots, the return. These are the tools that Medvedev has on clay. And they're not much worse on clay as long as he's willing to not let his mind get in the way. That's what he was able to do here. We will continue to track him as he goes through this tournament. Should be very, very interesting. Medvedev on to round 2. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.